tell you about Seattle. I think the great thing about Seattle from beginning to end was this overwhelming sense of community that came out in every conversation, in every connection. Kicking off the morning with Derik, it was what inspired him or what has kept him there was a connection to community or a desire to create and connect with the community, which was wonderful, to even wrapping up that evening with Dolly, aka Derik still, as we met at the lumber yard and talked with the owners, and they talked about wanting to create a space and place of community, intentional community for the diversity of the Seattle LGBTQ community, which I think is phenomenal. So, it was an amazing experience and one that I'm excited to tell a little bit more about. So, Derik, I'm excited to be here and spend a little time in Seattle. What brought you to Seattle?
It's been an interesting journey for me because I came as a performer, but as a stage performer, but wasn't getting a lot of success in that. Things were really changing at the time that I moved up here in 2007. So I switched gears, became a personal trainer, and then a couple years after that, I started to enter the drag community and more of the club and bar community a little bit more, which I had never been a part of. And I had always been an audience member, but I had never actually been a performer in drag. And so that started, and eventually I was performing in a couple different shows and eventually led to my own show that now my husband and I do together. And we're out there to bring life and love and hope to our community. And we created a really strong base of people that come to watch us entertain and perform and give encouraging and funny stories, but also hopefully words of hope, and that's always what we want to do.
Katie, who has been at the Pride Foundation for 7 years, had just recently stepped into her role as CEO. And I'm just excited to see what she's going to do with that organization and how we, two executive directors and CEOs from organizations, can connect across space and time to also empower our community. So, we've had a chance to chat before, and this is the first time we get to meet in person, which is always exciting. But what's your role at the Pride Foundation, and how long have you been there?
So I've been there for 7 years.
Wow.
I have held many roles, actually 7 years just a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I am currently our CEO, so I've been in this role for 2 years.
Wonderful.
It's been very exciting, a huge honor. I've gotten to do a lot of work with the foundation over the years, and it's been the honor of my life.
Yeah. And so for those of us who don't know what the foundation is, what is the foundation and what do you all do?
So we are the only, sadly, LGBTQ community foundation in the Northwest.
Wow.
So while
it's a big responsibility.
Yeah, we're based here in Seattle, and this is where our headquarters is, but we have staff all across the 5 states that we serve: Oregon, Washington, Montana, Idaho, and Alaska.
Wow.
So we're doing work across all of that area, and our work is to fuel the transformational movements that are advancing equity and justice for LGBTQ communities across the Northwest. And what we're really trying to do, our vision, is to create a world where all LGBTQ people can live safely and openly in all of the parts of ourselves wherever we call home.
Yeah. And it's interesting, I have the privilege of serving on the board for the LGBTQ Foundation in Columbus.
Yes.
And we do something so small in comparison to what you all do, but I think the work is still, as you said, just as important. It's transformative. Mm-hmm. And that's exciting.
Yes, well, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And the great thing is, as I think about and hear what you're doing, you're touching a large region in terms of that work, and to uplift and empower people to do the sort of the social change that we need to do. And I think as I sit in sort of 3 roles, right, like as a CEO of the Pride Fund, it's beautiful to see sort of these intersections of community, as we've been talking to people in business and entrepreneurs and community programs and community services, and I feel like, from my understanding, right, like the foundation is starting to be in all those spaces.
Yeah.
In community, in culture, in business, and how do you see that work continuing to expand possibly?
Yeah, a lot of what our work really is working with individuals, working with corporations, working with other foundations to mobilize resources for our communities, and then to move those resources out to where it's needed most, to the organizations who are doing the critical work on the ground across those 5 states, to the emerging groups that are happening and emerging at this particular moment too, and to fund the student leaders through our scholarship program to make sure that they have the resources that they need to continue their education and become their leaders, while also funding public education work, because we know that culture change doesn't just happen with the organizations and leaders. We actually need to change hearts and minds. We need to move people. So we have an education program too that is really centering the identities and the experiences of BIPOC, non-binary, and trans people across the Northwest, and uplifting those stories to change the way that we live and experience this world.
Yeah. You know, it's a great connection to the conversation we had with the GSBA, where they talked about, you know, their education grants and what they were doing. And I think ultimately what we are all trying to do is to educate and inspire the next generation, right? The folks who are going to do the work after we do. And that is deeply changing their hearts and minds.
Exactly. And it's funding the ecosystem, right? That is supporting all of our communities and funding it for generations to come.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that work, and I look forward to partnering and working with you on some of these things too.
Likewise, and welcome to Seattle.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a beautiful day, so I'm excited.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had a phenomenal tour of the Space Needle with its Chief Operating Officer, Karen. And you know, from beginning to end, I'm another community moment, right? I'm a little bit afraid of heights, no, overly afraid of heights, especially when I feel like I'm not going to be supported. But it's always a thrill. And going up in the Space Needle in a glass elevator, where you can see the entire cityscape, was a little bit nerve-wracking for me. But you know, I think the great thing was that everyone was really positively empowering in that moment to be encouraging for me in that experience. So we get up to the top after stepping out of the elevator, and they're 360 views. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful up here at the top of the Space Needle. All of the new renovations, glass everywhere. I, of course, walked very close to the inside edge and kind of kept my back towards the wall. You know, just that feeling of safety for me, and again, heights. When we got to go down to the second floor, or I guess not even technically second floor, the floor under the top, and see the rotating restaurant, that was amazing. I had to yell out and get a little help from my friends to step out and walk onto the glass and take a look out. Community, yes, definitely a community moment, as they held on to me and empowered me to walk out. But it was just an awesome opportunity, and to be able to be at the top of the Space Needle with no one else there.
So I'll take you outside first.
I'm just gonna hold on tight, you guys. I don't blow away. Awesome.
Outdoor,
thank you. Wow. It's pretty stunning. There's like art.
So this we built. So these are all lean back 14 degrees. So you sit on them, you kick up, lean back, and there's no structure between you and the ground.
I'm gonna appreciate that from a distance.
It's pretty fun.
It looks pretty fun.
Yeah, and all of these open up to the same thing that these lean out over Seattle. So it's just really fun to get that kind of view.
We can let the camera look down there. I'm not gonna get that far. But this is absolutely stunning.
And all open air. Yeah. So you have the lakes, the water, the mountains, downtown view.
Yeah. And I will honestly say the last time that I came to the Space Needle, I stayed inside close to the wall.
Yeah.
So this is like a new venture for me.
Yeah, and really before our renovation, this was all like kind of closed off.
Yeah.
Pony walls, cages.
Yeah,
really
I remember.
And now we have glass. So we have structure
which
with
is
glass.
amazing.
Yeah, so this is the open air with our glass benches called Skyrisers. Then down below is our glass floor.
Okay.
It's the world's only rotating glass floor.
That I think I'm gonna have to check out.
There.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, look at the mountain.
I know, that's not
beautiful,
it's only
always.
out, like 100 days a year.
Yeah.
And so there's even a Twitter account. It's called, Is the Mountain Out? Yes, no, yes, no.
Well, luckily we have been able to see it this visit, so that's great. Brought some good weather with us, I suppose.
So I'll take you downstairs, which is kind of the jewel of the renovation, which is the glass floor.
Wonderful. This is beautiful. This is actually phenomenal. And I wish I was much braver. Okay, you know what? Just do it, Densil. Here we go. Have you ever, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm freaking out. Oh no, I can't do it. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I'm a little embarrassed. Well, what if I just walk sideways? No. Oh, yeah, actually, are you okay with that? I think I can. Oh, see? Community. I love this. Thank you.
When you're close, you don't really see the
Okay.
floor.
Okay.
You just feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's just like a beautiful view.
Oh my God. Thank you all. That literally was amazing. I want to look down. I'm a little nervous. Can I hold your hands again to look down? Just want to look down. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, I don't think I can do that without holding someone's hand. Like, I'm serious. Thank you all so much. Oh, all right. Thank you thank you. I appreciate you both so much for that. Honestly. Wow. I can honestly say I did that for once. Wow. We got to wrap up our time in Seattle with some time at the lumberyard, and I was just amazed and surprised by all of the great things that I saw when I was there, including Dolly. Let me tell you, night and day. When I met Derik that morning, I was just awesomely surprised by who I met as Dolly later on that afternoon. Dolly must have been, 6'7", maybe 7 foot altogether, but just a ball of energy and fun. Oh my gosh. Hi. You look amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, not what oh my gosh, just amazing. After a full day together like this, wow.
Surprise!
Wow, you look wonderful. Well, I'm excited to go on in and
Are
see
you
what's
ready?
going on.
I can't wait to introduce you to the owners of the lumberyard. I'm so excited for you to
I'm
meet them.
excited. Let me get the door for
Yes.
you.
Oh, thank you.
You may have to duck. I don't think I need to.
I will, actually. Well, I would be so pleased to introduce you to the owners of the Lumberyard Bar, Michael and Nathan.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Good. I'm glad. So thank you guys so much for having us here. I'm excited to look around and experience the space.
And do enjoy it. The lumberyard's welcoming to everybody.
Awesome. And how long have you guys been here?
We've been here 3 years. 3 years? Yeah.
3 years. Well, it looks amazing. I'm excited to look around and get some more.
Yeah, we like color. So
Yeah.
color, you're going to see lots of different.
You know, I think they say our community likes a lot of color.
That's true.
So it makes it works. It works. Well, awesome. Let's go and take a look around.
Come on. So this is the main floor.
Oh, well, see, I mean, I want to go down all the stairs. I want to see. No.
So this is called, we refer to this as
The Sawmill
this
Lounge.
is the lumberyard. This is called the Sawmill Lounge.
Oh, you know, my mama lives on Sawmill. That's the name of the road she lives off
She
of.
got the pictures on the wall.
Oh, she definitely do not.
So this is the Sawmill Lounge.
Wow. I want to make sure she's making it. I don't want
She can sit.
Ooh.
Doesn't barely fits
Here,
down
here,
there.
stand carefully.
So, and our kitchen where we do all our homemade food.
It smells good down here. I already smell. I mean,
So these are all.
There's actually a fun story on these.
I got too close to that when I startled myself.
So my brother actually had all these saw blades and he donated them.
Yeah.
And so before we opened, we had a big party, a decoupage party, had people donate porn magazines, and then as a big group, we just all got together and created the sauce.
This is this is great.
Yeah.
This is lovely. It's like I get surprised every time I look at something. I'm like, I think I might have had that one. Right? Like, I think I had that magazine.
All right, and now we'll just go out to the patio.
One of the reasons we actually chose this space
Yeah.
is because it had an outdoor patio area, and so people, this is where they flock. in
Yeah,
the summertime.
I can
We have our
imagine.
beautiful summers.
Yeah. Awesome. Looks great. Ooh.
Then we decided we needed some dance space. So that's why we did the loading dock. And into the loading dock.
Oh. I love this.
So this space was built out right before the pandemic hit. We had a couple really great fun parties in here, and then all of a sudden, of course, it shut down.
Yeah.
The floor got converted to a nice social distancing space.
Well, I mean, at least you can have multiple uses for the space, which I
Yes.
think is great.
Yeah, and that's the
Wonderful.
fun thing about the way we design the lumberyard is you truly you can hit different areas and have different experiences.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily feel like you're in the same bar, but
Yeah.
you're in the same. But you definitely get the same vibe.
Right.
in each
Awesome.
space.
Wonderful. Looks amazing. Thank you
you.
guys. Yeah. It was phenomenal spending time with Michael and Nathan at the Lumberyard. I mean, the space is great, the people were amazing, and talk about being intentional about creating community. I think it was like 5 bars or spaces in one. You know, you had a little bit of everything for everyone. Let's start with the cheers, because I'm glad to be here. Cheers.
Welcome to Seattle.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you. I'm always proud. It is the Pride Fund after all, so I mean, it leans into it. But I mean, actually, talking about names, I think I just got a little excited there. You know, we're here at the Lumberyard. The Lumberyard.
Right.
I mean, gays have a lot of like secret code thingies. I'm there for that. But talk about the name. Where'd that come from? To be inspired by that.
So we were sitting at the house, which we lived like 2 blocks away, and we kept trying to come up with names for the bar, and we knew it needed to be between friends, and we knew it needed to be catchy, and it needed to be able to be turned very sexual very quickly. So we thought, we kept playing around with wood, and we were like, well, wood this, wood that. And we're like, okay, well, Lumberyard, because there's always plenty of wood. So it's like you'll see with our shirts, Lumberyard's on the back, on the front, and then on the back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Woof.
So
I like
you
it. I
can-
like
You
it.
can get planked 1 or 2 ways, or 3 or 4. You know, just depending on your flavor.
That's a busy Saturday.
Or a Tuesday. Or a Tuesday. Or a Tuesday. So what really your this is your neighborhood, so that's actually exciting that you're investing in your neighborhood. But even before that, what inspired you to start a bar?
Well, somebody came home one day and said he'd left corporate America. And
Now, did you know this was happening?
not really.
Because my partner tried to do that the other day to me,
Yeah.
and it's not going to happen.
We kind of knew a little bit of it, but eventually it just came to a head. And he's like, I just don't want to work for anybody else anymore. I want to do something. So honestly, originally we were supposed to open up like a restaurant or a fried chicken place or a food truck. And somehow, in a matter of weeks, it morphed into a gay bar. And I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it did. So
You're not sure how that happened?
No.
Get to a gay bar.
I don't. I honestly do.
You wanted to live your truth.
All of our friends, we're known to throw very large parties at home.
Yeah.
We used to do huge barbecues.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? You should just open a bar, and then people can pay you instead of you just giving it away for free.
I like that. Yeah.
So we did.
What I've loved about being on this tour is that I think everyone has talked about this sense of community and creating a space where people feel safe, but also personally for themselves in terms of being able to be their full, true selves in these spaces. Do you feel like now that you own a gay bar, that you're more gay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel more comfortable being your full self in this space all the time, every day?
Himself every morning.
I told you I was sorry.
I don't know. I've always been pretty out anyway.
Yeah.
Nathan was a late bloomer.
I came out at 40.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I think the bar has helped you definitely.
It has, and it's really helped me to, and I think that was one of the reasons for me when I said community, it was really a way for me to get to know so much more of my community and feel like I'm actually doing and giving back too.
I think the wonderful thing about the space that you all have created is that it sounds like you're practicing inclusion first. And I think what I love to say is that everyone always talks about diversity and inclusion and all this stuff, but I think if you practice inclusivity, diversity will come. And I think you also have created a space that allows for that diversity of self and an understanding to literally be in the bar. I've walked around and I see these spaces. And so, I think just from a personal space, I say thank you for doing that, because I think there are probably even people that you don't get to speak to or connect with who will step into this space and you will have forever changed their lives for it. So that is amazing. So thank you personally for doing this.
Thank you. We hope you do.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, and as you all reference the hope and possibility of bringing this model somewhere else, to another city, to another state, I hope that it's also the ethos and culture that travels with it, because you are 100% correct. I think that when people come into these spaces and they understand an ethos and a methodology of acceptance, they will take that with them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime. Come back anytime you
We
want.
will. I will. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
My favorite part of the day was actually at the end of the day. You know, we had opportunity to sit down at the lumberyard with the cast, the crew, technical folks, everyone who had been a part of the shoot thus far, and connect with the community. It was a phenomenal experience to be able to just commune.